Hey, what's up everybody? So today I want to talk about what began my introduction to video games. How did I start and become a gamer? I always found it kind of interesting to see and hear how people became passionate about their favorite things like movies or video games or sports. How someone became a fan of their favorite sports team, stuff like that. So for me, my introduction to video games was when I was maybe 6 or 7, around there. I was watching TV, probably Rugrats. That was my favorite show when I was a kid. And my grandpa walked in and surprised me with the Super Nintendo system. And now rewind, previously to that, with my mom and my grandpa was in the store and they saw the Super Nintendo system, and this, according to my mom, is that my grandpa wanted to get me it because all the kids were playing it and he didn't want me to feel left out. But my mom didn't want to. So, but eventually my grandpa eventually said, I'll pay for it. So he ended up buying me the Super Nintendo system. And when we got it out, I turned it on. The first game I ever played was Super Mario World. And I was so bad. I didn't know what I was doing. You know the football creature in the first level? I remember saying, that guy is my friend. And obviously, I would touch him and he would kill me. And my mom and grandpa were looking at me like, okay. They didn't want to tell me anything because I was 6 or 7, right? And I was brand new to video games. So. But eventually I would learn that he was my enemy and I would not try to be friends with him. But that really kind of began my passion for video games and my love for video games. That's how I became a gamer. The first game I ever beaten was not Super Mario World. It was actually the sequel, Yoshi's Island. And that was really cool to me. That's one of my favorite games of all time. And I would go on to play games like Donkey Kong Country, Star Fox, F-Zero, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Mario Kart, Super R-Type, Ghosts and Goblins, which I never could get past the first level, and Pilot Wings. Now, Pilot Wings is a special game to me because even though my dad always would play video games with me, I think Pilot Wings was really the only game that he really enjoyed. And I had a great time playing it as well. Which we really need to bring back. Hear that, Nintendo? We need to bring back Pilot Wings on the Switch too. And for the most part, I owned Nintendo consoles. Exclusively Nintendo consoles. Game Boy, Game Boy Color. That is until I got my very first Sega console. Can you guess what it is? It was the Nomad. I know, some of you must be saying, what the heck's a Nomad? Basically, the Nomad was a portable Genesis. Seriously. I believe it took 6 AA batteries, and it really ate through those AA batteries very, very quickly. But it was pretty cool. I could play Sega Genesis games on the go. And then I got the N64. And the N64 was a really special console for me because that was my first time playing 3D games. It was absolutely incredible going from Super Mario World, which was a great game and a great looking game at the time. Still looks pretty good, all things considering. But then when you went from that to 3D and seeing the opening shot of Mario 64, which is my opinion, still the greatest opening in video games ever. It's my favorite video game opening. To see Lakitu scrolling around and just taking the camera around that entire environment, I'm thinking, wow, I'm gonna be able to explore all of this. Seems small at the time, but at the time it was a big deal. And to have Mario jump out of the pipe, it's just an epic opening, a perfect intro for Mario in the 3D world. And also the N64 introduced the Rumble Pack, which was playing Star Fox 64 for the first time, and experience that Rumble for the first time was mind-boggling. I can't even explain it. I eventually got a Dreamcast, which was one of my favorite systems, still is one of my favorite systems of all time. And I got my first PlayStation console when I got the PS2. I didn't have a PS1. My cousin had a PS1. I thought it was kind of weird. He kept the smaller PS1, and then he also got one of those screens where he could, if you had an outlet, you could play the PlayStation 1 portably. That was, anywhere. That was pretty cool. And then I got the GameCube, and that kind of began my passion for video games, especially around the PS2 and GameCube era. I think that is, to this day, the best generation of video games, and it's really amazing how a lot of those games still to this day hold up. So yeah, that was kind of my introduction to video games, and I have loved video games ever since. I love playing the new stuff, but I just feel that the retro games, it's hard to believe like PS2 and even PS3 generation is considered retro games today, but because a lot of those games focus mainly on gameplay and unique gameplay and having fun while playing video games. Today's stuff is still good as well, but I've always had a special place in my heart for the older stuff, and a special place in my heart for especially Nintendo, especially like Super Nintendo. Maybe it's the nostalgia talk to me. But yeah, that was kind of introduction to video games. I was thinking this is I'm kind of like new to YouTube, and I would introduce kind of myself and how I became passionate about video games, how how I ended up loving video games and became a gamer with all of you. So if you want to share your story, feel free to share your story. Feel free to subscribe and like this video if you want to see more videos just like this one. And I hope you have a great day, a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you later.